All right, everyone, it is 4 p.m. on the East Coast, and that means that it is time to start our Express TruckTax webinar on the IRS form calculations and payment types. So I am Amber, and I am your host today, and we are going to talk all about the 2290 and explore the different types of IRS payment types and what makes sense for you and your business. Quick overview. We're going to define Express TruckTax, talk about who we are and why we are the #1 IRS e-file provider. We're going to do a quick 2290 overview, kind of what it is, who needs to file it, define some different terms that we get asked a lot of questions about. Talk about tax calculations, how is the IRS tax calculated and what makes up that tax calculation. We're going to define taxable vehicles, suspended vehicles, credit vehicles. We'll also talk about logging and agricultural vehicles as well. Then we'll talk about the IRS tax payment options, and again, which makes best sense for you and your company. And then we will have a question and answer time as well. So just to jump right in. Who is Express TruckTax? So we've been in the business since 2010. We've processed millions of forms of 2290s, 8849s, and amendments with the IRS, and that is a lot of experience. The #1 thing that we pride ourselves on is providing locally sourced support in English and Spanish, and that is huge. It's the best way to support you as the American trucker. And our support team is always here to ensure that you talk to real people. We don't have phone trees. We don't have automation. You call and we pick up the phone. If we miss your call, we call you right back. And so that is how we've built our business. And that is super important to us as we go into the 23-24 tax years to continue to support you as you file the 2290s. So overview of the 2290. The tax year runs from July 1st through June 30th annually. So if you're on the road year after year, this is the tax year that you are going to file for. Also, if you put a new truck on the road mid-tax year, you are also required to file another 2290 for that vehicle. And then next July 1st, you would put both of those trucks on the same form. You must have an EIN to e-file the form 2290. We get this a lot. A lot of times people do not understand that you have to have an EIN to e-file. They think, oh, I'm just going to go to orientation and they told me to bring a 2290. So they log into Express TruckTax, they try to file and they don't have an EIN. They go to the IRS to get an EIN and they get the number, but what you don't understand is that the IRS can take 2 to 4 weeks to put that number into their system. And the way that it works when you e-file is we transmit your return to the IRS and it has to match their system. If your number's not in that system yet, it doesn't match. And so your return is rejected until the IRS puts this number into their system. There's several things that you can do with an EIN the first day that you get it. E-filing a tax form is not one of those things. So if you're thinking about going into business on your own, if you have even a glimmer of hope that that might be what you do next month, next year, in 15 years, get an EIN. It's free. It's not going to hurt anything. It's registering a business with the IRS so that when you do that, when you go to start your business, you already have the number, and that 2 to 4 week waiting period isn't going to mess you up. So if you don't already have an EIN, go get one. And just make sure that it's matching your business information. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about that because I've talked to so many drivers who they're so excited because they finally got their orientation date and they're like, oh yeah, I just have to bring my 2290, and now you're stuck for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, and that there's just no reason for that, and that frustrates me for you guys. So I just want to make sure that you understand that you need an EIN, even if you're leasing onto a company. If you're required to file your 2290, go get an EIN. You're required to file a form 2290 if the gross weight of your truck is 55,000 pounds or more. The gross weight is the truck, the trailer, and the maximum that you can haul, so your maximum load. If it's 55,000 pounds or more, you're required to file. The weight goes from 55,000 up. So it goes to over 75,000 is the maximum. That would be category V as in Victor. But if it's 55,000 pounds, you have to file a 2290. And then the IRS is encouraging all drivers to e-file. However, if you are reporting over 25 taxable vehicles during the tax year, you have to e-file. You're required to e-file if that's the category that you're in. If you have less than that, you could paper file, but that is just badonkadonk. It is 2023. When you e-file, you get your stamp Schedule 1 back almost immediately, and you have it there with you, and you get that through email. We also offer postal and other things like that that we'll talk about in a little bit. So talking about the tax calculations, the tax calculation is the first used month. So the month that you put the truck on the road plus the vehicle gross weight equals the IRS tax due. So again, let's say that you are putting a truck on the road in July, the gross weight is over 75,000, your tax due is $550. If it's a lesser gross amount, then your tax due is going to be less than that. The beautiful thing about Express TruckTax is you don't have to figure that out. You just put the month you put the truck on the road, the gross weight, calculate, and it does it for you. And you can add many trucks to the same return. It's going to calculate it all together there for you, so you don't have to worry about that calculation. A taxable vehicle is a vehicle whose gross weight is over 55,000 and is going over 5,000 miles. So these are, semis over the road. They're going over 5,000 miles during the tax year, and so you're going to be paying tax on these trucks. Now, a question we get a lot is, what does this mean, suspended vehicles? A lot of times our clients think that means the truck is not in use. And that's not what this means. This means that the vehicle is over 55,000 pounds, but it's going under 5,000 miles. And so suspended or exempt might be those local trucks that are still semis, they're still over 55,000, but they're local. They're not running over 5,000 miles during the tax year. Another important thing to note here is, let's say that you're putting a truck on the road in January. The way that you would choose this is January and June. Is this truck going to go over 5,000 miles? Yes, you would put it as a taxable vehicle. No, you would put it as a suspended vehicle. It's very important to choose the correct weight when you're filing your 2290, because when you go to get your plates or when you go to renew your plates, your DMV is going to check the category listing that you have there. And so if you put it as suspended, the category is a W. And if it's supposed to be taxable, it's supposed to be A through V. And so it's very easy for them to see which category you picked. And the weight category that you select on your 2290 is going to need to match your IRP paperwork, your plates. So those two things should line up. An agricultural vehicle is used primarily for farming purposes. Again, the gross weight is over 55,000. However, it's allowed 7,500 miles before being taxed. So again, this is a vehicle that's primarily used for farming purposes. When you're filing your 2290, you can choose suspended and then choose agriculture. You have to choose suspended first before choosing agriculture. And when both of those are marked, again, that vehicle gets 7,500 miles before it flips over to being a taxable vehicle. And lastly, a logging vehicle. This is something we get lots of questions on, because a lot of times our clients think that this is talking about like ELD or paper logs or whatever, logging mileage, and that's not what this is talking about. A logging vehicle is exclusively used for the transportations of products harvested from forested sites. So it's exclusively a logging vehicle. You can see down at the bottom, the vehicle is registered exclusively as a logging vehicle. So this is a vehicle that its sole purpose is to haul products harvested from forested sites, or the transportation of the products from the forested site to the locations on a forested site. So it's purely logging vehicle, going in, getting the trees, coming out. That's a logging vehicle. With this, the government does give a tax break to this. So again, like with the first use month of July, the gross weight of over 75,000 pounds, the tax due is, I think, $412.50. So definite discount there on the tax due, but you want to make sure that you are a logging vehicle, because again, when you go renew your plates, you're going to be able to see that. Now, let's talk about the IRS payment options. So there's several different payment options. Choose which one makes most sense to you. We'll go over them now. So the first is electronic funds withdrawal. Next is the electronic federal tax payment system, or EFTPS, check or money order, and then the debit or credit card. So with the electronic funds withdrawal, you're able to enter in your account and routing number directly on Express TruckTax. The IRS will deduct the tax amount within 1 to 2 business days. So when you're on Express TruckTax, on the IRS payment screen, you're going to enter in your account and routing number. That is for the tax only. You will still be asked to enter a credit or debit card number. That is for our filing fee. So your account will only be debited by the IRS. Your credit card will be through Express TruckTax for the filing fee. Obviously, there's no additional charge. The IRS will automatically debit that bank account that you enter 1 to 2 business days after it's been accepted. So if you've already pre-filed your 2324 Form 2290, those will be accepted during the first week of July, and then you will see that tax amount come out during that first week of July. When you file on a normal day, it's not on hold, it's not pre-file. Again, your return gets accepted and that tax money will come out in 1 to 2 business days. Next is the EFTPS option. So you'll already need an EFTPS account set up through the IRS. When you are using this option, you want to make sure that you log into the EFTPS account and schedule the payment by 8 p.m. the day before it's due. So again, with the Form 2290, the due date is August 31st. So you would want to at least do this by August 30th to log in and make that payment before the due date. If you don't have an EFTPS account set up, it takes about 15 days to get one set up. So you want to go ahead and start that process by going to EFTPS.gov and setting up an account. But then again, that's another way that you can make the IRS tax payments. The next IRS tax payment option is a check or money order. So obviously you can file your 2290. When you choose check or money order, you can go ahead and transmit, get your 2290 accepted, and then mail a check or money order anytime before August 31st to be considered on time. Obviously, you'll need to draft a check or money order, mail it to the IRS after you finish filing, and you'll need a printer, because when you choose check or money order, you do have a 2290V, which is voucher, and you need to print that. It has all of the instructions on the voucher that you need. Who to make the check out to, where to mail it. It has your EIN. So you want to cut that bottom part off of the voucher and include it with your check. Don't attach it, just include it, so that when the IRS receives that payment, receives that check, they know who to apply that payment to. So that's really important when you're doing a check or money order. Now, the smartest way, I think, is to choose credit or debit card. Now, this is the most convenient way to make your IRS payment. You don't have to enter in your tax payment information in twice. You don't have to do any other steps. You enter it in on Express TruckTax, and then you pay and you transmit. So it's the fastest way to get it done, and you get to make your payment with the credit card. Obviously, there's a service fee that when you use this option, but you'll enter in your credit or debit card and you'll be charged the service fee for our filing and the tax in one fell swoop, and then we make that tax payment over to the IRS. So this is the most convenient option. You don't have to go to irs.gov/payments and enter in all of your information again. You just can do it in one place and be done with it. Now, why should you use Express TruckTax? And again, if you're on this webinar, you probably are already using Express TruckTax, so kiss your brain, you're awesome. But we have processed millions of 2290s. We've been in the business since 2010, and we are the #1 IRS authorized e-file provider for the trucking industry. We are US based, and we are a secure site as well. And so for all of those reasons, That is why we are #1 in the industry. We streamline the e-filing process for tax professionals, service providers, and business owners. So there's lots of different types of clients that we have, and we appreciate them all. We answer questions from CPAs daily, from service providers who are handling hundreds of their own clients, and again, business owners who maybe you have 1 truck, 2 trucks, 5 trucks. So all of our clients are free to call us, email us, and do live chat as well. Our live customer support team will be there to help by phone, email, and chat in both English and Spanish. And then we have great features, and here's a couple of them that we've listed out. We have a ton of great features in Express TruckTax, but our prepaid credits. So whether you're a business owner with 1 truck or 100 trucks, you're a service provider, you're a CPA, you can buy pre-purchased prepaid credits through your wallet in your account. So it's no extra steps for you. You go to the wallet, you choose how many credits you want to purchase those, and then they're on your account. The benefit for that is that you're purchasing them at a discounted rate. And secondly, they're good forever. So it doesn't matter if you buy for 5 years or 15 years, those credits never expire. So you're saving yourself by pre-purchasing them at a discounted rate. We offer postal mail and fax options. And so the postal mail I mentioned earlier, it's just a really good idea to have a postal copy mailed to you so that you have an official stamped 2290 in your vehicle, whether you're taking it to the DMV or, let's say you get pulled over, DOT asks for it, whatever it might be, you have an official copy there with you. We also offer fax and text options as well. The text option is very cool because you can transmit your 2290, log out, and be on your way. When your 2290 is accepted, you'll get a text, and then you're going to know, cool, it's done. You don't have to sit there and refresh and wait and worry about, hey, when's my 2290 going to be accepted? Especially during those first couple weeks of July when the IRS system is really, really busy. We'll send you a text as soon as it's ready, and then you can log in, download, you'll automatically get a copy of it. The other thing is that we're partnered with over 200 trucking companies, and that's huge because what that means is that if you drive for one of the companies that we're partnered with, they're automatically going to get a copy of your stamp Schedule 1. So you don't have to worry about forwarding it over to Becky at, I don't know, whatever company, or you don't have to worry about them getting a copy of it. They are going to automatically get a copy of that stamp Schedule 1. So that is another benefit of filing through Express TruckTax. That is going to wrap it up for us here today. Again, thank you so much for attending the webinar. If you do have other questions or anything else that you would like to get answers on, we are here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30 Eastern, and you can reach out to us by phone, email, and live chat. So thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.